Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I'm Dylan.
I'm Elle, and we both love soup.
All right.
What are we talking about today?
Well, we had another failure.
Oh, God, a stupid escape room. So there's this new escape room place opened up in town called Red Room.
Red Door. Red Room would be better, quite honestly.
I know. I like Red Door.
Red
I guess it
Room,
has a
Red
big
red door.
Anyway, and we had done one a couple weeks ago?
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, and we failed. And it was pretty epic fail.
Yeah, we figured we needed probably... There
15 more minutes.
6 puzzles we hadn't even gotten to, and they had a deal where on the way out, if you rebooked for a new room, they took 20% off. And so we were like, well, that's our first one we failed in like forever. We're doing it. So we booked it, and we had it this past week, and we failed again.
I think we needed another 10 minutes, maybe
well,
5.
There was one more puzzle to go, but we, in our post-mortem discussion, as we're sulking to the car, we're like, would we have even gotten that?
I think we would have had to ask for another clue, and they weren't Johnny on the spot with the clues very much.
They're
either.
short-staffed.
Yeah.
And so, like, when you ask for a clue, normally they know where you're at in the game because you have a moderator watching you.
They kept giving us the same clue
for something we had already solved, so they obviously weren't paying attention to where we were at in the game. So then, like, the asking for the clue wasted a whole one of our minutes.
Right.
So, anyway, we're salty about it.
But what we figured out with this particular place is they have so many games or so many puzzles that you have to solve one puzzle every 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Which, I mean, some of these puzzles were really, really hard.
I say they have 3 times as many puzzles as any of the escape rooms we've ever done.
Under normal circumstances, I guess we would love because, there's so many things to do. But unfortunately, a few of them are linear where it's like, again, we can't, all 4 of us, be doing something. We're waiting for one person to finish this puzzle to get the key to get to the next puzzle and yada, yada, yada. And anyway... It's been disappointing.
Yes, it left a bad taste and minus $140 from our wallets. So what we're going to do next to sort of cleanse our palate from our recent failures is we're going to try and review, after we do it, those online do them at home escape rooms. So I'm researching that now. I think I found a company. Now they charge about $30 for as many as people as you want to have join you. And it's kind of a laptop based, the one we're looking at. And it goes from anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. So I think for one of our Friday night game nights, we're going to do one of those.
I think it'll be fun. And they have like memberships where you can, you pay a yearly fee and you get to do a certain number of these. One a month? I don't know how many.
No, I think it was like one every other month. They had different levels of membership.
But either way, like that. So if we do succeed in one of these and we enjoy this format, then we might do the membership.
Yeah, because what a difference between $35, $40 per person versus $30 for the whole game.
And $35 per person when you fail, there's just nothing worse.
Yeah,
it's a really ugly feeling at the end of the day.
It stung.
And if we felt like if I felt like there was a chance, like we had just a few more minutes, we would have passed it. But there were so many things about this room that we needed help with that were quirky and like, it just didn't make sense.
It was a carnival theme. And so they had a lot of little carnival things. They had a Plinko and they had the thing where you move the ball up the board using different
But the Plinko didn't have any...
Yeah,
you had no control of it.
It wasn't like you could
just
drop it.
Keep dropping the things until it gets into the right holes. It was random.
While the theming was great...
Theming's been great.
Red Door, I think if we're going to do... After we do these at-home ones, I think we're going to go back and try Mind Trap.
Mind Trap was one of the best ones we've done.
Yeah, I'm just not sure.
We succeeded in them. The layout is fantastic. The theme is good. Anyway.
Love the Mind Trap. So that was something we're still recovering from.
It was a fail. Yeah. What else do we do this week?
We went and watched the bike ride. Our weather got better. Friday was a little sketch. We had a lot of rain on and off, but then by the time Saturday and Sunday came, started warming up. Still, in the 60s, but with some layers, we were able to get, I think, combined, didn't we ride over 40 miles?
Yeah. I think we did 50 because it was 25 and 25-ish.
And we rode to pickleball. So we rode to pickleball, played pickleball after waiting. But not too bad a wait.
It wasn't that bad. And then we were able to play 3 games.
Yes,
3 games.
because the magic time, the morning group goes away, and then by 1:30 you got a nice little sweet spot. Now in the summer, 1:30 won't work at all because we would be like
Heat of the day. It'd be 100 degrees, yeah.
But that was fun. And then we rode to Rosati's, our favorite pizza place. And so that was.
And then
that was
Sunday we rode. They have the Tour of Murrieta, which is a cycling race. They have some pros and
nice. Road race.
different, road race. And so we rode out there, and then we had lunch at our favorite food, always involved. We had lunch at our favorite Murrieta spot, which is the Mill.
The Mill.
And then rode our bikes back. So 25 miles, and pickleball. I'm exhausted today. I am
Yes.
just so wiped.
Got a case of the Mondays.
I have such a case of the Mondays. I always too have a case of the Mondays. So every Monday, and then sometimes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I know our husbands ask us, well, what difference would it be, when you retire? I'm like, you don't get the Sunday scaries.
You don't get the Sunday
and
scaries.
they-
You don't dread going to bed Sunday night, realizing that you actually have to get out of bed on Monday morning, and you actually have to
Yeah.
go back to work, and
No
you have to be
hurkle-durkling for you.
Yeah, and people have to, dickheads are looking for you. Like, it drives me crazy. I just I
AKA realtors.
I don't want to be beholden to anybody, and I'm beholden to all my clients.
It's the beholden
I
to.
don't want to be beholden.
And for me, it's having a team and just managing people and
Yeah.
what the week.
I was really
brings.
disappointed that $1 billion lotto didn't.
It
pay
went to
off.
someone in Portland though, so
Did it?
our friends in Portland were there. There was brief moments they were like, "Is it me? Is it me? Is it me?" No.
Nobody we know?
Nobody
Bummer.
we know, or at least they won't admit it.
But I
know,
was
certainly
saying,
wouldn't
like,
admit it.
Casey and I actually talked about this. Like, $1 billion would almost be scary. Like, that's, people are going to kidnap you for $1 billion. Whereas, like, 25 mil, 20 mil, I'd be happy with 2. Give me 2 mil. I can retire.
Pushes
We're good.
us over the edge with our retirement funds.
Exactly. I'd be totally happy with that. So, which is why I still continue to play. I got to keep the dream alive. I play every week. PMS every week. Powerball, Mega, and Super.
Yes.
I
Elle's
pay
got
every
the
week.
PMS.
And I got
do
the PMS every week.
I do the auto app, so it just happens off by itself. And
Until somebody wins big on that auto app, I don't trust it.
Yeah,
Call me a Gen Xer for that.
suspicious, but man, is it convenient.
I know it is.
It's convenient.
But I kind of like going into my local little shop, and they always, good luck to you,
Yep.
Get the little attaboy. I don't know.
So the other thing we both have been kind of dealing with is some family illnesses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So your sister got some.
My
not so
sister
great
got a little
news.
bit of bad news. She's got breast cancer, although they caught it super early. I just heard from her today.
because of the breast scan.
Yes, breast
that we
and
talked about.
So again, she had to have she goes to have the mammogram, and they make her have the ultrasound because in my family
Is
we have
she buxom?
yes, not as buxom as you, but more than me. And they, of course, made her go back a week later to have the ultrasound. And the ultrasound tech came immediately in, which never happens. That's
right. Normally they don't read it. They're
normally
like,
they don't read it.
Radiologist reads this.
No, they came right in it was the radiologist came right in and said, I'm seeing something on here. We're definitely, he said something like, I do 150 of these a day. I guarantee you it's something, although it's very small. It's the size of a Tic Tac. So what we don't know yet, she has the surgery appointment like next week to find out, is it going to be a lumpectomy? Is it going to be a
size of a
full
Tic Tac?
mastectomy?
That's encouraging.
Yes. And so very early caught.
Because she gets yearly
Because she gets her
mammograms.
yearly mammogram. So there's another call out, yell out to women everywhere to
Get your
breast
mammograms. Ultrasound. And then my dad, who is getting up there and lives in Maryland, and has other things wrong, right? He's had a stroke. He's a childhood diabetic,
falling apart one body part at a time.
Yes, exactly. Well, he got COVID.
Yeah,
and
his wife
don't
did
know
too,
how he got him and his wife got. They don't go anywhere. Very rarely. They go to the doctor. They were going to physical therapist. He probably got
probably at the doctor. Oh,
and it made him. He's very, very sick with it.
Yeah.
And like quite sick. She called me on Saturday morning concerned and saying,
but you're saying they won't go to the hospital.
Yeah, she won't go to the hospital because she goes, that's where you go to die if they put him on a ventilator. Doctor wouldn't see him. They tried to do a Zoom call. They got her on Paxlovid, and she's finally now feeling better because she was like, I don't even have the capacity to take care of him. She goes, I am in bad shape. I was ready to jump on a plane. And even her good friend who helps her has other comorbidities. And she's like, I can't come help you. I can't risk getting it. So she
geez.
really felt like an island there. And oh my God, talking to them, they were hacking up along. My dad could barely catch his breath. He can't lay down. He has to be upright all the time or he can't breathe.
Because your dad's overweight as well.
No, he's not overweight.
Oh,
He's just
not.
really tall.
Oh, he's big. He's tall.
Tall, 6'5". Yeah.
Okay.
So
But he does have diabetes, which is a huge
diabetes, so he can't get the
flag
Paxlovid
with-
because of that.
Yeah.
And other various things. So I've been calling daily, and he was a little better today.
Oh, that's good.
But they have no way, or they were limited in their ability to do like a telemedicine. So today, over the weekend, I took my iPad, I stripped it down, I got her Apple ID, I made my iPad their thing now. And I just overnighted it to her today. So when she gets it, all she's got to do, and this will be hard enough, but I hopefully can talk her through it, is connect to her Wi-Fi, and then it's everything. It's got the everything she uses that she'll need. Here's your internet, here's the FaceTime and all, here's your messaging. I even put the Spotify app so she could just click and listen to our podcast. But
Is she listening to our podcast?
no, she hasn't, because she's, again, I don't know what to do. So I'm trying to make this thing. It comes with a keyboard. It's not just a regular iPad. It has a full keyboard that folds into it. Hoping this helps. They'll be able to take their doctor Zoom calls if they need
That'd
to
be
have a
good,
doctor
yeah.
Zoom call.
If they're not going to go into the doctor, they've got to have some way to
I know.
communicate with the doctor.
So I'm feeling the guilt, the guilt of,
Why can't you go there?
go
This
there.
is again one of
and-
those, when we talked about in that episode about aging parents, being across the country from your parents, and with Dylan not having any family nearby. I mean, that's got to be so hard. I'm lucky. I have my brother close by to my mom. So something happens to her, they're right there. Dylan has nobody close by.
yeah. And I
Like,
mean,
not
it
even
couldn't
friends,
be further
really.
from us. So
Yes, exactly.
The trip to Baltimore, outside of Baltimore, Hagerstown, Maryland, is, oh my God, so far. So I'm doing daily calls with them. I'm setting up the iPad, and we'll see. But I mean, just hearing him struggle to breathe on the phone is
That's got to be so hard.
gut wrenching.
Yeah.
And then
It's harsh. And yet, and not, this is the thing about, so a few years ago, 7 years ago, my cousin Meg was diagnosed with cancer, and she is my bestest friend since birth. We have been tight since before birth. And we talked about this. She's lost 3 brothers. I've lost, a brother and a sister. She's lost parents. I've lost a parent, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, what we talked about is these things that come up, weddings, funerals, all of these occasions to go to see your family, do them, because when things like this do come up, then you have a little less guilt about it, because it's like, oh, I just saw them at the wedding, or I just saw them.
And you see them in a happy environment.
You see them in a better place.
Because by the time you're seeing them when they're this, because selfishly, it's like, I don't want to see my dad like that, because I want to remember him as this vital, big part of my life.
Right.
I don't want to see
and trust me,
this husk of a person.
my
who's left.
images of my dad are struggling to breathe in the hospital,
And like your mom
yellow.
right now.
Yeah, and my mom now is no memory, no. Yeah, it sucks. Now we're back to aging parents again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so sad, and I'm sorry that you're going through this, because it's. But I was just thinking about
It's a
that with
natural
my sister. It's like I was debating whether or not to go back for one of my cousin's kids' weddings this summer in Wisconsin. Because it's the weekend before we leave on this cruise. And I've been going back and forth. And I did look at flights, and it's only like $300 right now to fly Southwest back to Milwaukee. And so I and now with the news with my sister, if she's okay, I definitely am going to go, because I want to go with her. I'll say, hey, Aim, I'll fly into Chicago. She can pick me up
Road
there.
trip
We'll
it.
go up and we'll road trip, and we'll get a hotel, and that'll be fun. So things that you want to do before, while people are healthy.
Seems
while
logistics sometimes get in the way, and it's not convenient, to do hop, skip, and a jump. But
yeah.
yeah.
But if you can do it, yeah, you got to go.
Well, then I heard something on one of the little sites I saw that said, when you think about the 80s, or we talk about the 80s, or we listen to 80s music,
This
it's the same as our grandparents back in the 80s talking about the 40s. So the perspective of how long ago the 80s was relative, and I heard that, and
It's
like,
just such a mind blow. That is really.
I need to lie down now.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Because I know the 80s were a while ago, but I don't feel like they were that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
And
were.
it's funny. My friend John texted me today. He was like listening to one of our episodes or something, and he said, "So do you tell the neighbor kids to get off your lawn?" Like, yeah, we are that old. We are that old.
We are,
and
get off our lawn. Or the other thing too. So the movie Cocoon. People were saying the age of the people that were in Cocoon, like,
the old folks.
is how old we are now.
Oh, the Golden Girls.
Yes.
The Golden Girls are our age,
age.
now. Not the mom,
Yeah,
obviously, but like
Estelle Getty was supposedly like 75.
Right,
But all the rest of them were in like their late 50s, early Maud.
Maud was 56.
Yeah, that's
exactly
my age right
our
now.
age, or
I'm
57, whatever. Yeah, we're Maud, and then there's Maud.
And then there's Maud.
Yeah,
Yeah, so those types of putting them in perspective.
yeah.
Because I definitely don't feel that old. And well, even when you watch Seinfeld, so the characters in Seinfeld, and when that was supposed to be happening, were
were
supposed
in
to be the
their
early
30s.
30s.
Yeah.
You look at George and just all of them; they don't look like early 30s.
and they are. I mean, they're a little older than us now.
Yeah.
But so, yeah. I mean, that was when we were in our 30s. We were watching that show, or
But when you look at how they carried themselves versus like when you
20s.
look,
Were we in our 20s when we were watching that show? When
yeah,
was
late
Seinfeld?
20s.
Late 20s, I think.
So that perspective is enough to kind of make your head spin.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good segue for our topic for today,
Yes.
which is, do you rage against your age or do you lean into it?
Yes. Do we go gently into that
good
dark
night?
Good night. Yes.
Or rage against the dying of
Rage
light?
against the machine. Yeah. This is people are drawing battle lines on this.
Yes.
It's sort of the going gray naturally versus,
coloring and
Coloring
extensions
and
and all
extensions
the
and-
the gray thing has sort of become the main topic, but then there's all these other ancillary things
like,
around
I'm
it.
gonna just let myself gain weight.
Yeah.
Why am I dieting?
I'm my
happy.
authentic self. That phrase, I think you've heard us
It
grouse
chuffs her.
about
It chuffs
that.
her hide, but
Because
good.
I've had it thrown at me in another way, and so I always associate when someone says that with this other kind of accusation that I wasn't being my authentic self. And I think it's wrong. I think it's do whatever you want.
I would argue your authentic self is whatever you want it to be.
Yes.
And while I know people that are going gray don't like it when people judge them, I also feel the same way about people judging us for not going gray.
Yes.
Like we have friends that are doing both. We have and we obviously aren't. But what we have discussed is you're gonna go gray, and that's fine, and you may be beautiful gray, and I've seen people that absolutely look beautiful with gray hair. That doesn't mean they don't look older.
Right.
And so this is where I just want people to recognize the fact that you do realize that you look older, and that's not to say you don't look beautiful.
Yeah.
There's a
Two
difference.
very different things. You don't look bad.
You don't look bad.
Because saying you look older is not saying you look bad.
Right.
But let's be honest, I don't know of a single person who has gray hair that doesn't look older than when they didn't have gray hair.
Right.
It's just a natural consequence.
And it's such a throwdown topic. I mean, you get people.
Oh my God!
Very
Fisticuffs.
Yeah, very very upset by this episode alone. We're probably going to get a lot of feedback if anybody's listening about this, because I see some of my family and friends that are going gray or doing going gray naturally or whatever, or just letting go of the maintenance of hair, and yeah, they look beautiful. They're beautiful people inside and out. Everyone I'm thinking of, but that is not to say that I don't think they look. And then there's the argument of like, you look older. Do you look older than your age, or do you look your age? There's a question, like, what is our age supposed to look like? If you are gray haired, yes, exactly. Well, therein lies that they were all
because they
gray
did.
haired.
I saw the meme where they then took the Maude and the Betty White and they put a modern hairstyle. It wasn't gray on their faces, and they looked.
Then they looked our
years,
age. Yeah, exactly.
10 years younger. So a lot of it is the hair.
Yeah.
And we found too that when the people decide, to let your hair be less maintenance, they kind of like add other things to it. So they stop wearing makeup, or they stop, so the overall whole package, again, not that they look bad, but they look older.
Right.
But God forbid you say that to them, or if they ask you a question about something, that is, you're going to go to the mattress.
Right.
On
I also feel that way about a little bit about short hair, because I feel like short hair was our parents' generation of hair. And so many people get to a certain age. I remember I used to think that when I get to 50, I'll cut my hair short, because that's sort of what sort of like the thing you did, like, oh, of course you're going to cut your hair short.
The lower maintenance hair thing, or your hair doesn't grow anymore. It's not thick anymore. So therefore you wear it shorter to.
Right. And so there is that question as well, is like, does short hair doing anybody favors? I mean, I know people that dye their hair and have it short, and that can be good. But if you have gray short hair, I feel like you're definitely.
Well, I get criticism not only for the coloring my hair, because I mean, to color brunette hair requires you have to, without getting the skunk stripe, every 3 weeks. Yeah. You got to do the roots every 3 weeks. Now, whether you're triaging them or you're going to a hairdresser, 3 weeks. And so then coupled with putting in extensions to have my hair be longer, I get a lot of guff from people like, what are you doing? You're going against the grain. And that's where I've had people say, well, you're just not your authentic self because you don't have the confidence to be that. And I'm like, that's an awful bold statement for you.
Again, this is the throwdown in the opposite direction, which I don't, I just don't like it either way. It's when I'm saying these things, I'm not being judgy about it. I'm just being like,
let people be themselves and not to either side of it.
Right.
Now it gets tough when someone asks you, hey, how do I look?
Right.
And it's like, what are you looking for me to say here?
I know it's hard when you, it's an awkward topic.
It is very, because we have had friends ask us, what
here's
do
an
you think I
example
should
of a
do?
positive, hair coloring. My mother-in-law and actually our friend Tony are two examples of women that are in their late 70s who look years younger,
right? And
because they continue to color their hair. Whereas I would argue we have some friends in their 60s who have chosen not to color their hair that look
and it's
older.
A combination of not coloring their hair and not getting a more modern cut too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So because what goes along with, the fact that I'm in the salon as often as I am means I'm also getting my hair cut and styled, even though my style has been basically the same. The hair is getting maintained. Those that are ditching that assume that then now you just don't go to the salon anymore.
Right.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah. So it's like, are you going to gray because you don't want to spend the money, or are you going gray because you don't want to spend the time? Those are two good reasons to not to go gray.
You heard us last show. It's expensive.
It's expensive. Right. And so if those are two reasons, I get it. It's expensive. But so, there are alternatives. You can do it yourself. You can,
I go every other time. So what I had my hairstylist do, because going every 3 weeks, as much a time thing as a cost thing. So she gave me and sold me the tube of the Kevin Murphy color and the developer, and gave me what the ratio is and I just do my roots. I do my roots here and here. I don't do like a full root because you only really see what's in my part and on my along my hairline, and that triages me to when I see her every 7 weeks. So that helps. Now during COVID, man, that was really hard.
Oh, everybody was doing their own hair during COVID.
During COVID is when many people decided to just go gray. Like my sister-in-law did that. She documented her whole gray journey during that, because there's no other time that transition is hard. Short of shaving your head, you're going to have these gaps of, especially
Right.
if you're brunette, color.
I do think if you're gonna go gray, like ease into it. You do see the skunk stripe. Not even a skunk stripe. Like sometimes the skunk stripe can be kind of striking, but like
this
the
is
grow
a 3
out,
inches of grow out.
3 inches of grow out at the root, where it's like if you just eased into that a little bit, one more appointment to get it stripped out of your hair.
Well, it's hard and very, very expensive.
Yeah.
Because there was a time I considered, okay, because I've seen some people who have strikingly beautiful gray hair.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I had noodled on it because I'm like, man, this every 3 weeks stuff is killing me. And I'll admit it messed with my head a little bit, with the whole, you're not your authentic self. I mean, look at you, you got your fake nails, you got your fake eyelashes. Oh, you look at your hair and this and that. Maybe I should let that go. I'm more confident than that. Do I need those things as a crutch? And then I did the little things where they showed you what you'd look like gray, and it's like it didn't look good with my skin tone. I'm like, I looked into it. It was going to be $1,500
to strip it out. Yeah,
strip it. It was going to cause hair health problems for sure. It was going to have to cur over like 4 different visits. It's a to-do. And gray hair that way isn't low maintenance. You still have to go in and get it toned.
I do have a friend that says, well, no one's looking. And I would argue that they are, because I'm looking. I look at other people all the time. And so maybe it's like, are men looking? Do we care? No, I don't care if men are looking.
Right.
Because we're married. But
I'm looking. I look at myself
in the mirror. And call that
that's-
vanity? I guess
yeah,
it is
I guess
vanity.
it-
Yeah, it is vanity.
Yeah, bonfire of the vanities there.
Yeah,
'cause-
exactly. I don't know. It's an interesting topic. And I'm lucky. Blondes are luckier in this regard,
Yes,
I have to
you
say.
won't
Because
have
like
the-
my sister and my sister-in-law, both blonde, have gone gray, and their hair is white now, and it really looks pretty.
And while they were transitioning, they didn't have that huge demarcation.
It was during COVID, so. But yeah, there is also not that huge demarcation. I mean, I've got some grays, and you can't really see them. They just look like sort of blonde
Me
highlights.
being
in
dark
my-
brown, you instantly
You're definitely going to have more of a
instantly
transition.
see it. And
now, do you feel like there is an age where you would go gray? Or are you going to fight it forever?
The technology is like keep just getting better.
Right.
The products
it's
are
getting better for you. They're not as
and because there's
toxic.
times because with me with the gray coverage is a colored deposit that covers the gray. My hair actually feels better.
Right,
after
mine-
I get
mine
it.
feels better when it's thicker,
Fortifies
yeah.
it. It thickens it, and so outside of the way it looks, it feels better.
Yeah, I agree. I
So-
don't. So that's hair, and then what about like makeup and
Yes.
wrinkles and all of that? How far would you go?
So we
In the battle.
Yeah. So the one thing that I've been noodling on doing, which I would consider to be the most extreme thing, is it's something called a CO2 facial. And
It's very extreme.
it's very extreme. So we've done facials, like we've done the microdermabrasion, we've done chemical peels. That's about as extreme as I've done.
I did the vampire facial. What's that one?
Oh yeah, with
Where they
the
take your blood out, they spin it, and they inject your face back with plasma. I've done that twice. I didn't notice any difference.
Didn't notice it. And different expensive creams. We've tried
Every cream on the market.
No, and we will continue to
Yes,
try.
I'll continue to try all of those.
And
and
some with
microneedling
very-
and the painful jaw thing and
the vibrating
and the zappy thing. The what is that one called? The photofacial.
Oh yes,
Isn't that what that's
Yep,
called?
The photofacial,
Where they take your age spots and it's like getting snapped with a rubber band on your face.
and lasers, and then they flake off.
And they flake off. And that actually works really well.
It does. Yes, I have a couple right here. I'm thinking I want to have her do. For some reason, these have been just resistant.
I've got massive age spots. And the it feels like the self tanner.
Oh, self tanner makes them worse.
Makes
It's like
them
you want
worse.
to know how many age spots you have, put a layer of self tanner on. It's like, whoa,
Yeah.
what just happened? So the CO2 facial is one where it really strips down. There's all the ones we've talked about are really more surface treatments. Yeah,
You can't really tell you've had them
Yeah,
done.
they maybe a chemical peel.
You can hide it from your husband.
Yes, you can hide it.
And I have.
Chemical peel make you a little red, and maybe it gets to a couple layers of the dermis. This CO2 is like major, and it's about 2 to 3 weeks of downtime. When I say it's downtime, it is you look
Like
like you had your face
leprosy.
peeled off of you from Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
It is that bad.
Leprosy.
it's
All
a-
my skin is falling off of me. Do you remember that Dr. Demento show? Did you ever listen to Dr.
Yes.
Demento when we were kids? That was one of the songs from Dr. Demento. I can't believe I pulled that one out of my behind.
And yet we can't remember like basic.
I can't remember anything. Yeah.
So the CO2 facial, besides being epically expensive, and the downtime
I
associated
didn't think it was
with it,
epic.
$2,500.
Oh, or $2,500. I mean,
for,
I guess that's
for
epic,
a
but
facial treatment. And
Right.
what they recommend is you have
and looking like a monster
yes,
for
you're gonna
a really
look like
long
a
time.
monster. And
Yeah.
after you have it done, besides the 2 weeks of really don't want anyone to see you, the then subsequent 6 to 8 weeks are hell no on going
You
outside
can't
of the
go
sun.
out anywhere. Yeah.
You've got to be, completely shrouded kind of thing because your face is
baby face.
serious baby face.
Yeah.
But when you look at the people 6 months post this thing, it does, of all the before and afters I've seen, wow, it makes a big difference on deep
When I
wrinkles
look
and
at
stuff.
like Jennifer Aniston or anybody
Yes.
that's like our age that's famous, I kind of think, I bet they've had that
Yeah.
done. Because there's no way. Either that or they're just really getting good facial treatments or she does have good Greek skin.
yeah,
So who knows?
there's
I can't compare myself to Jennifer Aniston, unfortunately. I have the opposite skin of her. But there's that's about as extreme as I've ever thought of going. Like as much as my crepey neck bothers me, I don't think I'd ever do.
Well, we've heard bad things. Like Sonobello was one that came out like a couple of years ago, and it's supposedly that like almost thermal fat triaging double chin.
Oh, the icy thing.
and the fupa
Fupa.
belly.
It's for the fupa belly. Yeah.
And we've heard people have serious complications.
I actually know. I know of a friend of mine.
because we consider that. One
I
of us,
really
like,
considered that one because that one wasn't a lot of downtime. That was like
Nope.
a treatment. It wasn't horribly
and
expensive.
if you're like, hey, if that kills the fupa fat cells, it means the fupa won't come back.
Right.
It's like it was showing promise, but then oh dear, when it goes
Yeah,
bad,
a friend
it
of
goes
a friend
bad.
of mine ended up in the hospital. She had been considering having liposuction and then something and then had that done, the Sonobello, and ended up with a horrible infection, had to have a tube and then ended up having to have liposuction to remove the scar tissue or something like that. It was like ridiculously expensive, huge downtime. I think she had a lot of fat. I think she was a much larger person than you and I, but like still, after hearing that story, it was like, no, I'm making the cross. No. Yeah. And then what is the other? I do have a friend that had the lid.
What is the lid? Something
Something
blasphemous plasty.
blasphemoplasty. Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't think she didn't have the lid. She had the fat underneath.
Some people have the like serious bags.
Yeah. And I
see,
never thought
of
she
all the
did. And she had it done in
problems-
her 30s,
Yeah,
I think.
I don't have,
Or maybe her 40s.
I mean, relatively speaking, some people have like serious.
Yeah,
bad.
I don't have
That's
that.
my issue. Yeah, that's not my issue. Of all the things I've had to label things, bags under my
I would
eyes
say
is not it.
I would say lids would be, but unfortunately the lid surgeries I see too much. Like Courtney Cox looks like a totally different person.
Yeah,
I just don't
shock
like
eyes.
the way people look with that surgery, and as I know I would never have it done. I do know. I'm not gonna name any names.
the neck
I do know a
tightening
man
ones.
that had the neck thing done.
And you do that with tape. You can kind of see what you'd look
That's-
like if you tape behind your neck and all.
yeah,
It's
my
like-
sister uses those tapes all the time.
And someone I know had that done, and it did. It kind of helped her with her neck stuff because it stretched that little thin. She's super
Yeah.
happy with it.
Oh no, that's just I was thinking that just the tapes.
No, she actually had it
the
as part of
surgical
her
thing.
face stuff, and I'll admit she looks better.
Yeah.
With it, I don't know.
There's
There's going under anesthesia.
a knife and anesthesia. I draw the line there.
Yeah.
I'm like, if it can be done outpatient with little to no downtime, I feel like I'm in. Depending on the amount of money.
Yeah.
I can't remember what. I was on a cruise and I went and just because I was bored on the ship.
That thermo stuff they try to sell
there
you
was
on.
something they were
Thermology.
thermology, and she said, "Oh, this would be a really great thing for you." And I looked into it. It was
You need
kind
like
of
18 treatments.
it was really expensive. I want to say it was $6,000. That's a little high. That's a little above
Right.
my comfort level for vanity.
That
Vanity.
lottery stuff. But then there's even things like when I think about if money wasn't part of the equation, I just don't know that I
Right.
would.
Right. So if we
dance
had
in that.
won, that's a very good question. If we had won the $1 billion, money is zero object. What would you have done? Or
I
would
would
you
have
you'd get your skin taken off?
skin taken off in my
'Cause she's
midsection
lost so much
because
weight.
I lost so much weight and I look like a melted candle. So I would have a tummy tuck.
You would have a time.
Yep, just use my hysterectomy scar and fold all that stuff, get it out of there. I would tummy tuck it. That would be one thing I would consider going under the anesthesia for.
Right.
But again, I think about the pain and the
I know the
recovery.
pain.
And like for what? I mean, shapewear and if you buy the right cut of clothes, you can hide a lot of sins.
Right.
Throw on
Right.
some Skims or some control, which I'm going to have to do some shopping for because I think I found a good dress for the
It's
wedding.
really pretty.
I have high hopes for this dress coming, but it's 100%.
Did you order it, or are we
I
going to La
ordered it.
Jolla? Oh, you ordered it. Okay.
Because the Hoya didn't have my size. Well, what I think I need the 6.
Okay.
Because otherwise it'd be too small in the chest, and I don't want it skin tight around the midsection. I want to maybe have to have it tailored.
a little loose would be more comfortable
Yes,
anyway.
A little more comfortable anyway.
a little more.
But I'm gonna have to find
a little more
some
room for dessert.
decent shapewear that isn't gonna make me sweat because
It's June
it's
in-
silk, so it's draped.
It's also
gonna be,
June in
June.
end of June in Tahoe.
But I have high hopes for this dress. Everything about it. If I can look even 1/10 of what the model is wearing, in
You got to
there.
work on your Tunde arms.
I know the arms, and also just getting the right shade of
Tan?
self tanner.
I know that model is black.
Yeah, no,
So
not on
beau-
that one.
Oh no, she wasn't.
No, she was white.
Are you sure? Or am I thinking of a different?
You're
dress?
thinking of the first dress. So I've ordered several dresses
Oh,
so
okay.
far. So the shorter dress is an African American woman.
Oh, right.
but the other
in
one-
the pretty neckline one,
the pretty neckline one, yes.
which you need Tunde arms for.
So yeah,
she was white.
She's pretty white.
Yeah.
and dark hair. So that was helpful for me to see. So yeah, that would be. That one's going to be interesting. But again, shapewear, I think there's good stuff out there.
Right.
Doesn't have to be super compressive. And
Right. And as for in terms of like this, we were talking about the Sonabella, I do feel like I still feel like somehow I can diet this belly off of me. I'm maybe my cleanse next week is
Yeah.
gonna be that'll be the
I don't know. I mean, fat cells never die.
No,
and
they
so
do
they'll
not.
be there. So
But did you know that you have more fat cells than I do? Because you gave birth. The only time you create fat cells in your life is between the ages of
So there's
0
my
and
excuse.
3, and pregnant women create fat cells. So that's why it's so hard for women to lose the fat after they have children. So I have zero excuse
Yeah.
of why I have the fupa. I just have menopausal.
Yeah,
Menobelly.
belly.
Menobelly.
It's
So,
hard.
which is why I feel like I should be able to lose this shit.
So okay, you won the lottery. What do you haven't done?
I might do the neck.
You went to the neck thing.
I don't know. I could
Maybe
maybe
at least go in for a consultation.
I would definitely go in for a consultation. I feel like that would be the least invasive.
Yeah,
Like
your gateway.
and not so noticeable to anybody else. I would do every non-invasive thing
yes.
I could find. You name
Red
it.
light therapies
Yes,
and all
yeah,
that
all
stuff.
of that.
Yeah,
I would definitely do all of that.
and have fun trying.
And have fun trying. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, and yeah, another one too that is just the whole makeup and how much makeup will you wear? Do you see all these things that talk about, well, at that age you shouldn't be wearing this kind of eyeliner, and you should switch from a black mascara
I'm starting to agree with
to
the
a brown
dark red lipstick, because
Yes.
I almost every time I see somebody older wearing dark red lipstick,
Yeah, that
it
that
doesn't
one's rough.
it doesn't look good. I just don't I don't think I've ever seen anybody old our age, I shouldn't say old, but our age, wearing dark red lipstick that looks
Well,
good.
even someone young, it's like there's so many shades of red. If it's got to be the right shade with the right balance of blue or balance
Yeah.
of coral, and red lipstick is just, I know
Red
it
is
makes
hard.
your teeth look whiter and things like that, but yeah, a red lip is really, really tough
fraud.
to pull.
And you got to make
off.
sure it's not on your teeth. You see that on a lot of people, that it ends up
we
on their
do.
teeth. And yeah, I don't, makeup's a tough one because I've never felt like I have done a particularly great job of learning how to do my makeup in my lifetime. I do think we've learned over the years, like eyebrows.
Yes.
You know, that's the biggest thing you see in people our age. They forget their eyebrows. And you've got dark hair, dark eyebrows, but like when you are blondish and your eyebrows start to fade out, pencil those bad boys back in because that can make you look,
or dye them, right? I mean,
or
it's like
dye
you
them,
dye
which
'em.
I dye mine.
Yeah,
I
there
also
was
had them
the
tattooed at one
90s
point.
thin eyebrow that it's like I never, even when that was the thing, I'm like, oh no. I'm
did
always
do that.
keeping a brow. I'd go and get them, I either tweeze them myself or I get them waxed because it's like a facelift for me. That arching, a good arch on the brow.
A good arch on the brow can make lift your whole face up.
Wake your face up. But yeah, makeup. So I've played more with makeup, I think, than you have.
And we talked
in
about
life.
that, in one of our episodes that we were talking about what has worked for us. And
Really have to be, as I've gotten older, judicious about the amount and the quality and the type of foundation.
Foundation is
Because
huge.
cakey makeup, nothing will make you look more aged faster than having cakey
and
makeup.
frosty eyeshadows. I'm sad to say, I love frosty. I've
know.
always loved
I always do a
frosty
little highlighter on the brow.
I do
but-
too, and it's like I'm realizing that frosty eyeshadows. I see them on other people our age, and I'm like, ooh, maybe not doing anybody any favors with the frosty eyeshadows. And I struggle with that one. Oh, and I love frosty lip stuff too. So the opposite of red or the opposite of dark lip stuff is the frosties, which were huge for us. And was that the 80s or 90s?
Oh my gosh, the blue frosted eyeshadow. Everyone had that.
Well, but the frosty lip stuff, the literally baby pink frosties. I always loved those. I think I lost one. I had one similar to this. I'm holding up my Juicy. That's like a frosty, and I think I left it on the pickleball court. I use it more. It's more of a moisturizer. It's not much of a color.
Moisturize me.
Yes, moisturize me. Good teeth. Taking care of your teeth, using the white strips. I see that a lot in people our age, that their teeth are getting stained. Wine and just time.
Age takes away the enamel.
Yeah,
I go to the dentist. I pay to go.
I go every
4
3
times a year.
I go every 3
He made
months,
trays for me, and I buy the gel from him, and I put it in, and once every 6 weeks I'll do like 3 or 4 nights of it because not having white teeth is
I agree.
thing, but not like Ross Geller crazy super
No,
white.
I
like
use
that,
just the white strips. I buy them at Costco, and when I'm getting ready to go somewhere, I usually whiten up a little more than normal. And
that's why we joke. It's like we consider ourselves low maintenance, but then we start.
I know
listing all the
we
things that we
sound
have
like
to
we're
do.
so high maintenance, and I really don't think I'm. I mean, look at me. Do I look like I'm high maintenance? Certainly don't look like I'm high maintenance.
It takes a lot of effort to look like we don't take a lot of effort.
Exactly.
But it's we talked about the difference between, is it vanity? Why are we doing it? I think it's a combination of things. It's like it makes me feel good. I'm taking care of myself.
I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty.
And then there's a little bit of the I don't want to. There's definitely a little bit of the vanity.
I'm sure there's vanity involved. I mean I don't think I would ever have thought I'm a beautiful person in my entire life. I've never been that vain. Like, oh, I'm hot. I have never had that thought in my entire life.
So what number would you have given yourself?
Back in the day or now?
Let's do both. So you're 25, a scale 1 through 10, 10 being Bo Derek.
The sad thing is, at the time, I probably would have given myself a 6, and now looking back at myself, I'm probably at more like an 8 or at least a strong 7. I don't know. It's so sad how little confidence I had back in the day.
Enjoy the power and beauty of your youth.
Of your youth, because it's gone before you know it. Yes, exactly.
I want to look as bad as the first day I thought I looked bad.
Yeah, exactly. I think somewhere in my 30s, I thought I looked bad.
Okay, so you're giving yourself a
7.5, yes.
Okay, so now rate yourself relative to being a 56-year-old woman.
I actually think I look pretty good for 56. Are we 56?
We're 57.
Oh, I think I'm 57, but I guess we're going to be
in our 57th
yeah, we're in our 57th year. I think I look pretty good for 56, but I don't think I look that great. I don't know. 6? I don't know.
I feel like if we don't compare ourselves to Hollywood types.
Right. Oh, okay.
And you compare ourselves to
other people that are...
Let's call it our peers.
Our peers?
I think you give yourself a different rating.
I would. I'd be back up to my
back in your
7.5 or 8. Yeah.
Because the minute you start comparing yourself to the Hollywood people,
Yeah, then I'm
then
screwed.
it's like,
Because as soon as I compare myself to Jennifer Aniston, who is almost our age, I think she's 55.
yeah,
Yeah.
then it's like, oh,
And I
yeah.
suck.
It's like, whoops.
Yep. What about you?
So I would say, yeah, growing up, probably would give myself a 7.
Really?
Yeah, 7, 7.5.
I would have thought you would rank yourself higher because you were popular. I was never popular.
But I was popular because.
But you were married so young, so.
Yeah, I was popular because I was sporty, and I was smart, and I was okay looking. So it's like there was a weird combination. It wasn't that
Those are two things. I was going to say those are two things that genuinely are not
don't go
popular.
yeah, but so it created this kind of weird group. So like I was in the AP,
everybody always
and
says that.
Smart
I was in
People
all the
Club.
groups.
So when I'm in the smart group of people, oh my God, I was the best looking
You
smart
do realize
person.
that everybody says, I was in all the groups.
No.
And the reality is, if anybody asked, we asked somebody, anybody out there listening from Dylan's high school, was she really in all of the groups?
I'm heading to my reunion next year. So, but no, so like I was in the, mathletes and the sciencey thing. I was in sports. I played all the sports and I had varsity letters.
You were a mean girl.
And I was in, I did the BMX racing, so I was known for that. So I kind of had this weird, I was master of none. So I wasn't like a 8 or 9 in one thing, but because I had like dabbled in all of these and I had different yardsticks, that's why I'd give myself a 7.5 or an 8. And then I had at the time, it was super cool that I was dating an older guy.
Oh, that's right.
So
Ed
I
is
got
older.
lifted above because
Yeah.
I was dating someone who was 4 years older than me. And in high school, that was like, holy shit, she's dating him. And, I had a nice car. So all these things, it kind of was a recipe for popularity and stuff like that. But now I'd say relative to my age, I'm probably better. Like I am actually looking forward to going to my reunion because I've been looking at some of the other people who were my peers. And I can say, honest to God, I age better.
Yeah.
Now, whether that was my good, clean California living, and they stayed in the Midwest and ate a lot of cheese and drank a lot of beer.
That is, you have to consider our peers. Our peers, California peers, or our peers, Midwestern peers, because that's two totally different groups.
I mean, we slay against our Midwestern peers.
Yeah. Definitely slay against the Midwestern peers. I don't know that I slay against my California peers so much. Not so much.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a friend of mine that lives in OC, who I went to high school with. Yeah. No, I don't think I'm slaying against her. Of course, I never slayed against her in high school either.
She's in the 9 category. So, yeah, I would say I'm slightly higher for my age now than I was then. Bare minimum, I've kind of stayed the same.
Yeah.
Now, throughout my years, I took a downturn there a little bit.
Oh, see, I think I peaked somewhere in my 30s.
Well, it's like I ebbed
you
and
had
then went
kids.
down, and then now I'd say in the last year and a half, it's kind of come back around. 'Cause
Yeah,
I lost the
you've
weight.
come back 'cause
that
you've
changed
lost
my
weight.
face, and just kind of this realization of, here's this level of maintenance I'm going to do, and what I'm going to go gently into that good night with, and what I'm going to rage against.
Right.
And
I was in the best shape of my life in 1998. So whatever year. How old were we in 1998? 31. Did I do the math right? 31? 31.
yep.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure I was the best. This is
And
the
I
best
was
you're
at-
ever going to look. This is the best you're ever going to
that
feel.
was right
And it
after I
didn't
had
get
2
that
kids
great.
at that point. I'd had Miranda was a 2-year-old. Zach was an 8-year-old at that point. So that was not my best shape. I'd say, best shape for me was probably, between 16 and 20.
Yeah, a lot of people
When I was
probably their best shape
racing
would
bikes and things like that.
I hadn't filled out by then. I hadn't had any development at that point in my life. Yeah, 1998 is the year I rode my bike across the country, and that I was definitely in the best shape of my life. And tan. I was super tan. My hair was bleached
baby
out.
oiling, which was a
Oh my God, yeah. This is why I have skin cancer
treatment.
now. Yes, exactly.
But what we're hoping you get out of this conversation is this, don't let people, whether they criticize you for trying, not trying enough, it really doesn't matter. Because, confidence is not, they're going to like me. It's, I don't care if they like me.
I don't give a shit. Yeah.
I
so
I don't care if
we
they
are
do.
both friends on Facebook or whatever with this Facebook.
The real Slim Sherry.
No,
Is that what
no.
you're thinking? Oh, no. Which one?
No, the Gen X women are sick of your
Oh,
shit.
yeah, that one.
Gen X women are sick of your shit is a great
Yes, it is.
Facebook page for people our age, especially women. And it's so interesting how many posts like this there are about
Yes.
I'm overweight or I bought these cool shoes.
Can I wear these?
Am I too old to wear these or
Am I
whatever?
too old for docs?
Am I too old for docs?
this?
Yes, all these things. And the answer to that is never yes. The answer to that is always no. We are not too old for anything. We are if you're comfortable in it, own it. And it's so sad. You see these women that post on there that are like it's either sad or it's great. Sometimes you see somebody post something that's like, oh, I've just gained so much weight since I had children and I'm blah, 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 blah. And they're so cute. They're so cute in them, and they're wearing their cute little outfits and they're adorable. Or versus that, or the other thing is where they're like, I don't give a shit. And you're like, good on you, girl. And the greatest thing about this Facebook page is the support you see of women with women, So as much as I was saying, I do think people that, are going gray or letting themselves go gray or whatever, I do think you look older. It doesn't mean you look worse. And if you like how you look, own it and love it. And I think it's
Gray, pink, blue, purple.
Yeah, exactly.
Short, long, dreads, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I do think it's whatever you want to do. I wish I had the balls in my life to be more of who I always wanted to be. And I think I'm...
No time like the present.
I know. I do feel like I'm finally at that point where I'm a little bit more like...
Now, there's certain things that, you have to say to people if they're wearing something and they've decided to go braless with it, or they're getting some severe camel toe or something. There's boundaries.
There are some boundaries. Yes.
Don't wear everything, and there's certain
Try not to be
styles.
judgy here, but there are some things that shouldn't be worn.
Nipple tassels at 55.
Super short
Yes.
skirts. I mean, unless you have the gams to pull it off and the booty to pull it off.
But even still, you bend over and you see your address. There's a wee bit of decorum that's needed there.
Like, nobody wants to see your cleavage, your Cleveland. It's that much. I mean, maybe there are people that want to see your Cleveland. I don't want to see people's everything. I don't know.
Go do you, enjoy it. Don't criticize someone or even ask about it. Because, the question of, when they pose it as, why you still, you're pretty. Why do you still need to color your hair? Or why do you need to, it's like, don't.
Yeah, screw you.
Just don't. Don't.
We'll give them the middle finger salute and call it a
move
day.
on. And don't keep those people in your life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for me, some of them are my family, so I'm stuck with them. But in general, don't keep those people in your life.
Yeah, I agree. And if somebody does say something, or if we've said anything to offend anybody, we certainly don't mean to. And you can give me the middle finger salute anytime. I'm happy to take it on.
What about the whole thing of beauty is within?
Beauty is within.
But that's what I'm saying. So just be a good person, and then you'll be the hottest person walking in a room, right? It kind of goes hand in hand with confidence, though, right? Like if you're a good person, you kind of naturally get some sort of confidence.
But what's wrong with being both?
Being a bitch?
No.
Oh.
Beauty inside and out.
Yeah.
That's my goal, is to be both.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm just saying, beauty is within.
Yeah.
Ladies and gent, and same with guys too. Like a really nice guy, does that not take a guy from a 6 to an 8?
Oh yeah.
Anyways. Just throwing it out
this
there.
is Miranda piping in over there.
But we're not that nice, so we have to do
Exactly.
I think maybe that's what I'm hinting at. No, I'm kidding.
You guys need to try a little harder on the outside because those insides are...
Yeah. Well, it is true. I mean, I do feel like I've been a bitch most of my life, and that does...
I'm sarcastic as
am
all get out. It's like part of who I am.
Me too.
And when I'm not, I think people, like a couple of times where I haven't spoken up at book club or people then come, what's wrong?
I think you and I think that's what we speak sarcasm. I think that's why we get along so well. It's like...
And then when I don't, and I'm quiet for whatever reason, I'm being introspective, and then people think something's wrong if they haven't heard something snarky from me. Whoops.
Yeah.
So it's part of who we are. So we have to work extra hard on the outside.
I mean, if I was as lovely inside as some of my family are, then yeah, maybe I wouldn't care so much what I look like, but I am not.
Ditto.
I actually posted a poster on my locker in high school. The signs you made for football, where the football team. I made one for my own locker. It said, "I'm a bitch, leave me alone." That was who I was in high school.
I now know what to get you for Christmas. Note to self.
Yes, exactly.
I bet you Temu has that.
Exactly.
Bet you that Temu.
Yes, Temu has everything. All right, so that's enough about her.
Enough about being your authentic. So you'll hear more. This is something that will constantly be popping itself up in our lives.
We talk about this a lot. Well, and it's also kind of comes up with we tried it because we're constantly trying to
duty shit.
Cling into our youth with both hands.
Yeah.
Fingernails out.
The other thing is I plan on being around for like another 30, 35 years. I just, as you get older, you start thinking about that. And, having recently had a death in the family. And, some people have longevity. It runs in their
we do
bloodline.
not. In my family, we do not.
Longevity in my bloodline. And barring a hit by a bus or something else, my expectation is I'm going to make it well into my 90s. And so that means I've got another 40 years in this body. And that's a long time.
25% chance of living well past my expiration date, and a 75% chance that I'm going to die young.
Yeah, which your husband thinks he's never dying.
Yes, he's going to live forever.
And mine constantly, like today with the eclipse. Well, that's the last eclipse I'm ever seeing. It's like, stop it, man. Buck the family genetics. Buck it. But yeah, you never know when your number's up. So thinking that I've got 40 years in this, I need to do a little maintenance because it's going to need to
I wish I felt better. I would give everything. I would give everything. I would give
to feel less
every bit of looks I have to feel better because I feel like shit all the time. And that's a bummer.
Yeah, and see, I
know you feel great.
Can't relate. I mean, other than having super, super tight hips, which I'm working on, in general, I'm knocking all sorts of wood.
Ridiculously tight hips.
Ridiculously tight
I'm just noticing that. I guess I never noticed that before. Meg was the one that pointed that out to me.
Her gait is affected by my hips.
Like, wow, she have hip problems because you walk like.
And I'd had MRI. It has nothing to do with it. It's all
just
muscular and tight.
Tight.
Yep, because last year I had all the MRI and stuff. I think maybe you guys notice it more now because
you're skinny,
having lost the weight.
I always thought it was because you were heavy.
That's
just
doing
the way you were waddling. I thought you waddled.
Nope,
really.
Nope, it was not the fat waddle.
Sorry, but I guess I always assumed that was just a fat person waddle.
I've identified. Other than that, I would say I'm basically
you're really healthy,
free.
I know we keep talking about doing a chronic
episode.
pain episode, and it's going to be all about me. It's all about me. When isn't it all about me?
Drink of the show I pulled from my handy dandy little cute book, and actually one of my favorite authors. This one is a take on Tender is the Nightcap, and it's basically Aperol muddled with rosemary. And then you pour Prosecco and a little bit of club soda and garnish with rosemary.
Delish.
Very refreshing. You can make it sweeter or not by reducing
I love all these
Aperol.
drinks have been very like spring, summer,
yes.
Easy drinking.
Well, we're supposed to be up in the 80s this week.
I know.
I was thinking about playing hooky on Wednesday because it's supposed to be 85.
Aren't we playing hooky on Wednesday?
Oh, I still have to.
We're playing pickleball.
Yes, we're playing pickleball, but
I have a massage and acupuncture, and then I'm playing pickleball. I have a busy Wednesday.
I need to book something with Jester for massage. Feel good. And then soup of the show. Not one that Elle would want, but you can do some substitution. White chicken chili. It's a actual, here in our house, we love the white chicken chili.
Actually, Meg's husband makes a white chicken chili using the vegetarian chicken, and that's so good.
I don't think I've ever had the fake chicken.
The fake chicken is
it textured right?
Yeah, it's so textured right. It's like perfect.
Maybe
perfect.
for our next soup night, I will try to make a white chicken chili with the fakey.
With the fakey chicken?
Because there's enough flavors that it should hide.
I question sometimes those fakey meats, all of them. Like I don't think
they're
good
for you.
I don't think they're very good for you. So I try not to use them.
You got to watch the sodium because that is one thing that they jack up.
You know what you should do instead? Make the white chicken chili. Just don't put the chicken in for us.
And then that'll be our next.
Because it would be good. It'd be like white bean chili.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Book recommendation. This was one I think we did. Was
we
it
do
for
it
our
in
book
book
club
club?
or something else? It's an older but a gooder. It's off of Reese's book club from like
Can't
3
go
years
wrong
ago.
with Reese.
The Guest List by Lucy Foley.
That's a good
I
one.
mean, who doesn't love a destination wedding on an island where all the guests are trapped?
Yes.
And drama ensues.
I think that was a book club. I feel like we read that in book club.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Love that one.
People die.
People
It's good.
die. It's said
Nothing wrong with people dying at a wedding. Sorry,
Right.
Miranda.
Lucy Foley's got a lot of good stories like that, but this is one of my favorites. And of course, the show wouldn't be complete without talking about songs living in rent free in their head. Mine is "Pure" by the Lightning Seeds. Talk about a nice
Can you
80s.
sing me that one? I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna pull it up because I'm not allowed to sing.
All right.
So what's yours, Elle?
Mine is the Monkey Goes to Heaven by the Pixies. And the reason why is because I number these. I have to print these cover sheets for EDDM, and it's page 2 of 4. Page 2 I print 4. Page 3 I print 5. So I'm always like, how does that song go? It's like,
I have to pull that one
and
up for
the
you.
devil is 6, and the devil is 6, and God
I
is
don't think I
heaven,
know this
and
one
God
either.
is 7,
It's
and
Monkey.
you know it. You know it if you heard it. I'm just doing a really bad imitation. But it's, so as I'm numbering these pages, I'm like, and God is 7.
Yeah, we'll go fast forward into it.
Come on, you know this one.
And I like the Pixies.
Love the Pixies. It's
Okay,
funny.
I went to put them on a rotation.
People, like, I used to see people wear Pixies t-shirts, and I would be like, Pixies, do I know any Pixies? And now I've been paying more attention, and I really love a ton of Pixies songs.
This is Pure. Yeah, we'll go a little forward. No, not ringing a bell. Total 80s.
It's not ringing a bell. Who is this?
Lightning Seeds.
How do you know all these obscure 80s songs? I thought I was the obscure 80s song.
Oh,
Is this
no.
an 80s or a 90s?
This is 80s.
This sounds 80s.
Yeah. I'm waiting to. We'll get to the chorus a little bit, and then you're going to recognize it from the chorus.
I don't know. I mean, it sounds vaguely familiar. Oh, yeah.
Here it is.
Oh, I've heard this one, yes. Okay,
Yep.
okay.
But Pure
Yep.
but Lightning Seeds. It's just a happy, you're walking the dog.
What got that one in your head? Oh, just...
It came up on my rotation. I just threw on some 80s and was walking the dogs. And it's like, oh, you just want to start skipping when you hear it. Pure and simple every time.
Yes.
Anyway,
Good songs.
Good songs.
There's a million good songs. We could do a whole episode on music
can
alone.
change your mood. Oh, it's a time machine. There's so many good things about good music. And then
That was one of the posts on that same thing that we were just talking about, the
Gen X girls are
Gen
sick
X
of
women
shit.
are sick of your shit, was what song transports you the most back to the 80s? And for me, it was I Come From the Land Down Under. And it was really
And
was
your
like,
Vegemite sandwich.
yeah, my Vegemite sandwich transported me to freshman year of high
See,
school.
I can't. There's so many.
I know there is a million, but that one in particular, for some reason, is like freshman year of high school. I know exactly when I heard that song. Supertramp is 6th grade, like that whole Breakfast in
And
America.
at the swimming pool, I remember ordering a pretzel with no salt with mustard at the swimming pool, public pool. It's like,
Of all the things, the memories to have, I ordered a pretzel.
I ordered one of those soft pretzels, man. I had enough money to get the soft pretzel and the soda pop.
Wow.
Gotta go light on
You
the
were
salt.
rich.
And sitting at the public pool and saying, this life is good while listening to Supertramp.
Yeah, that whole Breakfast in America album was definitely 6th grade.
God, and remember the bathing suits that were popular with the cutouts? It's like no one, even if you were skinny, looked good in that. It was like the top was this piece, but it was connected to the bottom, so it had a big cutout on the side, and another big cutout on the
I vaguely
side.
remember that. I don't know. I never
Oh my
had
God, that
anything like
style. It's like, whoa.
That's like literally in right now, though.
I know it's back in. I think
Like dresses have that.
Yeah.
And then like the fat
yeah.
oozes out here, and then the fat can ooze out here. And it's like, man,
Well,
I've had the body I had back
thongy
then.
bottoms are back again too, and I never thought I'd see the that's like
just don't wanna see
that was
that.
the 90s, wasn't it? Or was that 80s? Oh, late 80s. Late 80s. That was late 80s. And I don't think anybody really looks great in a thong bottom. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just
you
not.
have to have a perfectly
You gotta
smooth
have a
bottom,
perfect booty.
and then it's got to be round and be smooth, and
Yeah.
that's that fine
And
line because you
tan.
got and tan
And tan, because,
because
fat looks
and
better
waxed.
tan.
Yeah, you have to have the right wax going on. Yeah, that's just
Zero
too much trouble.
cellulite. Yeah.
Too much trouble.
Yeah.
too much
Now
trouble.
we're judging again.
Do you, man? You have whatever
Yes.
ass you want. Let it hang out.
Exactly. If you
But-
want to let your ass hang out, you do you. I do not want my ass hanging out. I'm good without.
All righty.
All
Well,
right.
I'm Dylan,
I'm Elle,
and we both love soup.